Hey guys, this is Valentino, live from the Hollywood Hills, and today I'm going to talk about health, because health is everything you need to know in life to have an amazing experience here on this planet. If you're healthy, you can kick ass. So what many people do, everybody has these high aspirations. They set incredibly high goals for themselves, right? We want to have fun, we want to be rich, we want to be successful, we want to look our best, we want to have an amazing, sexy partner in our life. We have so many things that we'd like to have. But what we often forget is that you can only achieve so much when your vehicle, your human body, is not right. You are literally a spirit that has an existence on this planet, on this earth, 80 years, and you get to live inside of your body. And this is the only body you get. There's no repair, there's no magical healing somewhere. You can't just like check into the hospital. There's pills that can fix things, they can cover them up, but once you break a leg, it's never going to be the leg that it was before. Once you break your nose, it's never going to be the nose that you had before, whatever it is, right? There's things like physical enhancements, little gimmicky things, but usually it's about keeping it as best as you can and maintaining it. And the human diet is not just the fuel, it's more than that. It's even more than that. Think of your body as a car, what many people say. What you put into it is literally the fuel that you have. It's like the gasoline that you pour into it. If you drink Coca-Cola, you're gonna run worse than if you drink kombucha and smoothies. And I would go way further than to say food is just your fuel. It's way more than that, because you built this body from the particles that you ingest, right? You are the water that you consume, you are the food that you consume. You were born as this little baby and you grew to be this little baby based on what your mama ate. Based on what your mom ate, this is what got put into your baby body. And then you grew up and they kept feeding you more food, right? You kept drinking your mom's milk. Your whole nutrition was your mom's milk. If your mom was a heavy smoker or an alcoholic, which of course she wasn't, but if that was the case, the baby suffers. The baby suffers the damage, because the baby consists out of what the mom gives it. So you're 4 years old, suddenly you start eating by yourself. Your parents, your peers, people give you a diet. You usually have a diet that's just the average of what people eat in your country, right? In Sweden and America, people drink a lot of dairy. In Asia, dairy and meat hasn't been as big. They eat more fish, they have more rice, they have other sources of, nutrients in general, just being very broad here. So this is like the first concept. You consist literally out of what you eat. You are what you eat. You become it. And many people have this very boring, stale diet. And the biggest issue with this diet is that it's dead. What you're eating is dead. And you need to eat living things for your organism to replenish itself. There needs to be life in there. I love making this analogy. Would you rather be a bread or an apple? I would always choose an apple, and I would never want to be a bread, because the bread is a highly processed junk food if you think about it. Basically, you have this plant, right? The wheat plant, the rye plant, whatever. Then you process it, you make flour out of it, you bleach the flour, you add additives, you bake it in an oven, and in the end you have a bread. It tastes beautiful. It's a gift for you. But at the same time, it's not something that I want my body to consist of mainly. I would rather have my body consist of apples, because apples have so much more energy in them. Apples have a wide agglomeration of nutrients. They're very nutrient dense. There's all kinds of good things in them for you. And at the same time, it's living. And when I'm talking about living, I'm talking about whether something vibrates and radiates energy. If you look at something, scientists in Germany found this. This is not new, but many people completely forget about it. If you look under a microscope, a special photonic microscope, and you look at what vibrates, what radiates off something, if you look at the apple is sending out energy because it still has energy in it. There's a seed in it. The apple wants to become an apple tree. That's why the apple tree produced the apple, to have the seed of life given into the earth and fornicate and make more apple trees, right? So there's life going on in there, and it's ready to blossom. And if you eat that life, it's gonna blossom inside of you. You're becoming this apple. You're absorbing the information of the apple. The apple actually has a DNA. It has a genetical formula, and that genetical formula combines with yours, and you can build your DNA, your human DNA, your code out of what you eat, and it's going to be so much easier to make it out of a great healthy apple than out of the bread, because the bread does not send out any energy. It's just dead. And there's levels to deadness in our food, and the biggest problem in this day and age is we're so stressed, we're so worried that we just skip thinking about food. We don't pay any attention anymore. We just cram something in our body, and it's all about the taste and the pleasure that we get out of it. And there's all these companies out there like Doritos, and they have perfected their food, their dead food, to a point which stimulates our palate. It hits our palate. It has fat in it, it has sugar in it, it has glutamate in it, it has salt in it, and everything the human palate conceives to be pleasurable, but actually there's no nutrients in it at all. It's a whole lot of anti-nutrients that are harmful to your body. It's empty calories, but there's no enzymes, there's no life in it. And if you were to look at the Dorito, it's completely dead. Nothing is vibrating there. Not even the bacteria would want to eat it. That's why in this nasty plastic bag. The apple, at the best scenario, plucked right from the tree, is alive, it's vibrant, and it wants to become you, and it wants to nourish you. Literally, Mother Nature put it there for you. In the Garden Eden, everything grew on trees. Everything grew inside the earth. It came out of the earth for humans to consume. If you see something in nature, an orange, a lemon, I can't stop but wanting to eat it. I am there to eat it. I feel like it's natural and it's good for me. All these other foods that are there, like the Doritos, for example, I see them in the supermarket. The marketing works on your brain. The marketing works on your body. If you were to consume it, it would act on your palate, but it's never gonna give you what you really need. So you need to learn to really nourish yourself and feel into what's good for your body, and ignore what feels good a little bit here, like the empty sugar, but then it's nothing, you know? There's so many levels to this. For example, if you have the juice of some random company that produces apple juice, for example, they have a lot of water in there, they have a lot of fruit sugar, they have artificial vitamin C, and they have apple flavor. It's such a huge difference to your body to consume that in comparison to the living apple. It's a different kind of sugar. One thing is dead, one thing's alive, and the more alive the thing is, the more it actually integrates with your body, and the more energy and information it also carries. That's the other thing. If you eat something like an apple, you're gonna feel full, you're gonna feel satisfied. Once it comes down in your system and it's in there, your body's gonna be like, hey, like this was actually something, there's fiber to this, like we're kind of full, like this is good. Like for the next hour, 1.5 hours, whatever it is, I'm satisfied, I had enough. If you eat an empty calorie food, it has none of this information. It doesn't communicate with your body, it just hijacks it. It's like a drug. It's acting like a drug on you, and you can have endless amounts of it. Serious overweight people, they always eat junk food. You cannot get fat of whole foods. It's impossible. The healthier the food, the less you have to worry about it. The more it's actually good for you in every way. You cannot get fat of potatoes and rice if you cook them yourself, if you make it with love. It's impossible. You can easily get fat of processed junk that you eat at the fast food chain restaurant like McDonald's, like Burger King, whatever it is. So think about that. Think of whether something is alive or whether something is dead, and what it adds to your body, what kind of input you get from eating it, right? So the beautiful thing is, once you know that, you're like, hey, I already have so much going on in my life. I have all these fruit in my house and I don't pay much attention to them. Maybe I should eat more of them. So you eat more, you eat more apples. You just have 2 apples instead of 1. If this sentence is true, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. how great would it to be to not keep the doctor away, but to just enjoy yourself, right? You have as many apples as you want, and every time you eat an apple, you get healthy, you get more vibrant, you get better, and you can perform better and chase your dream and chase your goals because your body is in alignment with what you're trying to do in life, right? If you eat this nasty, toxic food, it's going to be so bad for you, because in the short term, it hits your palate, it's great. 30 minutes later, at the latest, you're already crashing, you're already craving more. It's not working. Your brain is not working perfectly. Your body's not working perfectly. Your digestion is not working. Everything is suffering from it because your body needs to build hormones and muscles and new tissue out of living, nutrient-dense food. It needs to level down levels of inflammation. There's a lot going on in your body. It's such a highly evolved, highly developed organism, and it needs great nutrition, especially if you're a high performer, especially if you're trying to chase your dream. You need the best fucking sources of food that you have available to you. And start step by step of eating more apples, more bananas, more living things, whatever it is, whatever your favorite thing is in the world. Eat more nuts, eat more seeds, and eat all of these things that you know, that you feel when you look at them, there is life in it. It's vibrating with energy. So that's the first step on your path to kicking ass. Decide, is it living? Is it dead? And if it's living, it's gonna heal you, it's gonna replenish you, it's gonna help you perform at your best. Thank you. That was Valentino, live from the Hollywood Hills. My pleasure to talk to you today. Thanks.
Baby, do I even bother? Do you ever think about me? But you Balenciaga and Prada, that bougie kind of love ain't cheap.